These are the now disused offices where the social workers who were protecting Peter were based. Panorama has discovered that the social workers here were piloting a new way of working with the parents of at-risk children. It's called solution-focused brief therapy. And the idea is that rather than dwelling on a family's problems, you ask the parents what they would like their life to be like in the future. Then together you decide how to achieve that. This was in addition to the usual checks, but the risk of focusing on a parent's future is you may miss what's happening to their child now. I've been to Sweden to meet the international expert who took this approach and adapted it for child protection. Andrew Tunnell stresses the dangers to a child must be constantly in your mind.
Solution focus gives you a lot of good skills, it gives you ways of engaging with families, but you must bring to the table very clearly what the problem is, and you must talk very clearly with the family about the past, about the harm to the child, the neglect, the maltreatment. And if you try and use solution focused without doing that, if you try and use it as a therapist would use it in the therapy room, it can very quickly become dangerous, particularly in high-risk cases.
His signs of safety approach puts the child's protection first. In Haringey, he sees little evidence that was happening. Social workers there have told us they did a 2-day course in solution-focused therapy. They say not much time was spent on assessing risk. Some called it useless. It didn't keep baby P safe either. Over 8 months, he was taken to hospital 3 times with suspicious injuries. Towards the end, he was losing weight, had scabs on his ears, fingers and head. But his mum seemed to be working well with social workers. How could they spot the man in the shadows, the hidden boyfriend? It's not like the mother sat down and told them about him, is it?
A child isn't constantly being observed. There isn't a video running in that home. There wasn't a way of knowing that there's a man hiding in the wardrobe.
But amazingly, there is a video. Panorama has learnt his mother recorded an hour-long interview with a senior social work manager. Made not at home, but in the Haringey office. Crucially, she talks at length about the man we now know beat her son and raped a small girl. We're told she describes him helping make the garden nice for Peter. She says her ex-husband claimed they were having an affair, and her reaction was, "I wish." We also understand she talks about preparing him a steak dinner for Valentine's night and says he makes her feel good. We're told she mentions his first name twice and describes him as 6'4", blonde, and every girl's dream. The manager, Sue Gilmore, was making the video for a diploma in solution-focused therapy. Funded by Haringey Council. This was March 2007, 4 months before baby P died. Mrs. Gilmore says she put a detailed note of the interview on Peter's electronic case file, but it didn't mention it was videoed. There should have been checks on this friend. The police also needed to know. The abuse investigation into what happened to Peter in December was drifting. Former Detective John Shatford wasn't involved in Peter's case, but until 2007 he headed the homicide team covering Haringey.
They're investigating injuries that this boy sustained. So they are going to be thinking, well, who else could have done that? And the mention of a man who's close to this woman would have meant that they would have wanted to speak to that man, if not to eliminate him from it, even as a witness, to say, well, how does she treat her children? What do you know about it?
But the police aren't told about the interview or the video. This friend wasn't questioned, and an important opportunity to save baby P is missed. 2 weeks later, Peter is taken to hospital for a second time. He has a large swelling on his head. As we revealed last autumn, the police investigating the original abuse allegations aren't told. Peter's third visit to hospital was in June. Taken there by his social worker, he had worrying bruises. This time, the police are told. From the office here, a number of key decisions were made after that hospital visit. We've seen police documents that reveal officers told Mrs. Gilmore they wanted baby P removed from home. They appear increasingly baffled when that doesn't happen. According to our information, a senior officer wrote in the police log, "The situation cannot continue." In response to the mother's claims that baby P fights with other children, he comments, "He's 15 months old. This is wrong," and continues, "I'm at a loss as to why our position is at variance to that held by social services. Our concerns for baby P are valid." As we revealed last autumn, there was a frank exchange of views between a senior police officer and a manager. That was Mrs. Gilmore. It's detailed in an internal police document written after Peter's death. It concludes social services may have been too parent-focused, allowing a rule of optimism.
When you start to get close to a parent and you see the good parts of that parent, you see the parts of the parent trying to be a good parent, then you start to overstate that and understate their weaknesses. And it is a well-known vulnerability.
Mrs. Gilmore was respected by her colleagues and left Haringey early last year of her own accord. She says she raised the question of removing Peter and requested a legal planning meeting, but major decisions were made by multi-agency conferences